almost everything on board, and we amended that constitution. And when we tried to clean it up ourselves as Patriotic Front via Bill 10, the UPND itself is one that says there are no problems in the constitution. Why do you want to amend it? And they shot it down, and we lost it. Now they want to come and convince the nation, and in such a short period of time, I don't want to begin to think that they're being unfair or dishonest. But I just want to argue that the time we have, first, is too short, and secondly, the problems that the country faces are too huge for us to insist that we're going to amend the Constitution before the next election. I am thinking that the President must lend a hearing ear to those who have spoken about the need for us not to amend the Constitution between now and the next election. This Act number 2 of 2016 is the one that regulated the last election. And you can imagine under it, a political party which was in the opposition won and got into power. It tells you how good the Constitution itself is, which means the same Constitution can be utilized in the next election. We just need to ensure that we are going to have an election that is free and fair. What we are seeing, these dances around the constitutional amendment, these dances around the statistics, they're littering the area of elections. It will now become very difficult for Zambians to even think that we are headed for a free and fair and credible election in 2026. My colleague has argued very vehemently about the activities that Mr. Bayani, is it Dr. Bayani, was doing at Zamstats and others. These are issues that we must begin to pay attention to ensure that we have a credible election. Voters registration, these are issues we're supposed to be paying attention to. Are we doing it objectively? Is there anything that we're not doing correctly in voters registration? This is what we need to pay ourselves attention to, rather than wanting to come and deal with a document that can properly regulate the elections of 2026. I think that we need to become, much more serious as a nation. I think that we are faced with challenges that are huge, that need to be dealt with very, very urgently so that people can begin to put food on their plates. It's the only way we're going to have the reduction in criminality that we are seeing. I mean, you never expected those boys who are looking like 21 years, 17 years, 20 years, robbing a trucker. This is only happening, frankly, because the levels of hunger in the country have risen. And a government that cares for its people will pay attention to that, rather than wanting to suggest that we want to self-preserve by trying to do an amendment to the Constitution at the time when there's no complete necessity for that. Thank you very much for listening to me.